how do you figure out what the three things you should be focused on are?
I have many investment opportunities in front of me every day. Some of them are very, very big, and some of them are important to me as a person and to just, and I'll give you an example. I talked about the data center with you, that I have many data center projects, but I have a great team. Some of them are in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, some of the engineering firms, and a huge team of guys and women working on this, and governments. It's such a big project. It's multi-billions that's always on the top of my list every day, because I've been working on it now for 3 years. And every day there's something I have to work on with somebody somewhere in the world. So that's number one. Number two today was I'm working with Seddiqi, which is one of the world's largest watch dealers on earth, to build a piece unique watch out of tantalum to celebrate Watch Week in November. And watches for me are very important. It's just part of who I am, and it's marked time. And you know, I'm a world-known collector. I'm a member of the Horological Society of New York, and I work with all the brands. And I just respect the whole, someone gives up their life at 14 years old to become a watchmaker. I have a lot of respect for that. They're an artist. So I support that kind of thing. We want to make the watch have a red stone face. And F.P. Journe years ago created such a watch out of a stone, a ruby, basically, a rough ruby. And so I've started to work with some of the world's top stone dealers to find such a stone that we can cut the dial from. This is crazy stuff. I mean, the community that deals in these certain ruby stones is so small. It's just a few people on earth. I'm very, very fortunate, and I guess I should thank Shark Tank for it. I'm known all around the world as the mean shark and all that stuff. But I get all my calls returned from everybody as the Shark Tank guy. I started making calls, and now I'm negotiating to get that stone so that we can continue our mission to make this watch, this piece unique that I'm going to own. It's going to come into my collection. And I'm honored that a watchmaker would even consider doing that for an individual. But I'm very fortunate now, because many brands do that for me. We make piece uniques, but my whole shtick is red. It's red. It's got to work with red. And so this is a Moser watch that is very, very rare. The only one in the world with a red band on it, made by Moser for me. And I'm proud because I love this piece. And the watch that I'm designing with Seddiqi is very much like this, except the dial is going to be, instead of being an onyx, it's going to be a red ruby. And so, I mean, that may sound nuts to people, but that keeps me balanced because I'm pursuing the chaos of art with business. And, lastly, I'm considering a new business. I'm very intrigued in. I've been looking at asset classes moving. One of the most successful assets over the last 36 months have been collectibles, and they're liquid. Sports
Outside
cards.
of watches, yeah, I was going to say, what are you looking at besides watches?
Sports cards. I don't want to own one sports card. I want to own an indice. And so I'm talking to some of the largest collectors. Again, very fortunate to be able to get my call return from all these people saying, look, how can I index? If I want to put $1 million into an index of cards, let's say 50, 60, 70, 80 cards. I use ETFs. That's how I invest. So my mindset is diversification. So, I'm discussing this with some of the world's largest collectors. I'm not that interested in bidding on, one card and having the volatility of one card. What I'm interested in is, where can I put my money into 50 cards? That's how I'm going to solve for it. And I think in the new digitized, tokenized world, I can find a way to do that. Because I would like to allocate, you were talking earlier about, I was thinking I'd put a 5% weighting into collectibles like I have right now in other hard assets. 5% feels good to me. And I'm sitting on a lot of cash and T-bills. We talked about that. And so I wouldn't mind taking some of it out of there into an index. It's an alternative asset class. Yes, there'll be volatility, but generally speaking, if you have an ETF kind of structure, you don't go to zero. And I don't like leverage. So it's sort of do it unlevered, that kind of thing.